future business owner. As you may know, my name is Shemtov. I'm the owner of this place, the Mellow Mushroom Pizzeria in Charleston. Mellow Mushroom. So we are a franchise pizza restaurant. What does that mean? It means we purchased the rights to franchise this concept in Charleston, South Carolina. A lot of people say, do you have the rights for the whole Charleston area? It's something you got to negotiate with your franchisor on a one-by-one basis if you decide to go down that road. But even if you don't decide to go down the franchise road, which has some benefits and some drawbacks, I hope you do decide to start your own business, because it is very fun, it's very rewarding. It's not easy, but a lot of things in life are not easy. Most of them are worthwhile. So if you have your, talk about what kind of things are going to be. I mean, first of all, you have to know, you have to believe that you can do it, that you are going to do it. Nobody else is going to be able to tell you that you are, and nobody else should be able to really shake your faith that you're not going to do it. They might bring up good points, they might bring up considerations, hurdles, important things that you need to consider, but don't let anybody talk you out of it. In fact, for me, one of the strongest memories that I have was turning 21. The weekend after I turned 21, my parents took me on a trip to Las Vegas, and we sat at the California Pizza Kitchen, which was one of my favorite pizzerias, and had a nice little meal there. And I was dining with my parents, who are small business owners themselves, my cousin, who's in the restaurant business in the California area, and my cousin's business partner, Leon. So Leon, who's an accountant by trade, but got involved in the restaurant business, he starts in with me, like, you think you're going to open a business? Like, you think you're going to start a restaurant? There's no way, you're just a kid, like, you just turned 21, it's not going to happen. And he was just negative, just Mr. Negativity. And I remember we got into a very, very heated argument there at the dinner table at the CPK inside the Mirage in Las Vegas, and you know, to the point where other tables were looking at us, and my parents were like, okay, settle down. But I was not going to let him win. I was not going to let him think that I was not going to start a business. So I just gave it back to him as fiercely as he was giving it to me. But he was just convinced it wasn't going to happen. And almost just to spite this guy, I said, all right, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to do it. And maybe you'll have a Leon in your life. You know, maybe you'll run into somebody who doubts you. Use that person. Use the image of that person. Play that back to yourself. Let that inspire you to go through with your business. And don't let anybody tell you you can't do it out of college, whether you're a traditional student who's 18, 19, 20 right now, or you know, have come back to school in your 30s, 40s, or later. You know, there's no reason why you have to wait and work for somebody else first for a while. Money, there's always money to fund good ideas. If you have a good idea, you're going to find the funding for it. That's not going to be an issue. What else does it take? It takes stamina. It takes the conviction. It takes a belief in yourself. Most of all, it takes a good idea, because people will rally around a good idea. Now, beyond that, it just kind of depends on what kind of business you want to start. If you're going to start a restaurant or a service business, then you really need to pay a lot of attention to people, which is something that I like doing. It's very rewarding for me to be working with people every day and developing people, and you have to enjoy that. You have to love it. If you don't like people, put up a website or a catalog and sell something, you know, develop a technology company. There's plenty of businesses that are fine for people that don't like people. You can like a small group of people and be fine and hire others, but don't forget, as the owner, you are the face of the business. You always have to be positive about it. You always have to be willing to talk to anybody about it. And you never know who, you know, you might meet somebody and just be in a bad mood and give them short shrift, and then that person might hold the key to something that you need later on. Maybe it's a license for the city that you're in. Maybe it's something else. Maybe they know your landlord and you need a favor from the landlord and they're not predisposed. If anybody's watched Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know how the world works. There's a lot of little connections that you don't know about at first. So, people are very important, and you gotta jack them up, you gotta make them excited, you gotta make them believe. You know, I have a business partner here, he always says you have to make people think that they're the owners. You know, you have to make people think, yeah, your employees have to think that you work for them, they don't work for you. You know? And there's multiple different ways to manage. You can manage through being nice, you can manage through possibly instilling some fear in people, You know, and I don't know that there's one right way, but it's, you know, important to kind of figure out what feels right to you, what feels normal to you, because you can't fake it. You can fake it during an interview when you're interviewing somebody, but on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to be able to fake it. So find the method that works for you. What works for me is a little blend of humor and being friendly and personable to people, but also them knowing that there is a time to be serious and that stuff like this, wobbly tables, are not going to work out for us.